Okay, here we are. So last time I drew a couple of skulls. I drew this skull, I think, and this big daddy over here. So I'm going to try and apply that knowledge to drawing a head. We'll see how it goes. I have a couple of close-ups. Is it profiles? I guess actually this time I'll try and do the profile first. Then we'll try and draw a profile picture. Okay. So let me just get my timer ready. Which way is faster, going up or going down? Right now, I'm probably going up. It would have been faster, but here we go. So 20 minutes, and let's do it. Start up here. It didn't warm up at all, but get stuff up. Okay, that's good enough. At least I hope it's good enough. I'm going to draw small this time. Oh, at least not so big. So basic shape is going down and like that. It goes in like that. A little earlier, maybe like that. It's like a face. Yeah, sometimes it helps to think of it as it helps me at least. Your mileage may vary. Think of it as other shapes. In this case, think of it as kind of like a vase. I'm going to go in and do some details. I want the orbital bone right here. Some shading in there. This goes a little convex, actually. And then it goes up. Yeah, it's a little too short. It's also a little too thin, too narrow. It's okay. I guess my shape didn't work out. Live and learn. And there's that nasal bone. Oh no, this is the top jaw. I think it's called a mandible. Is that what it's called? There's some little cavity up here. Okay, but I should be quiet and focus. This extends out a little bit. And teeth. So the center point would be here. This turned out to be a lot bigger than I planned. I wanted it to be about that size, but it's going to be a lot bigger. So yeah. I'm bad at judging that kind of stuff. This little cavity in here is probably where blood vessels and nerves go to the nose. Oh no, the nasal cavity is up here. What is this? Well, this part is open. I can't really tell from this picture. Let's zoom in. No, Oh, it's open, but then this is a separate hole. Okay, that's why it's so dark. Some nice shadow shapes in here. What are these? Another one of these holes. I wonder what these are for. Some kind of tubes or nerves or blood vessels go through, I imagine. But I guess it's not my business. I'm not a vet, so. This follows this curve from here. This goes up to the orbital bone, which I should make a little bigger. This is over here. Again, going to the top of the orbital bone right there. I need to draw that part though. Yeah, my scale is off, but I guess it's okay. We're gonna make it okay. So that's what practice is for. Something like that. Yeah, the scale's off. This should be a lot bigger. And yeah, I would probably actually go off the page if I do this correctly. But hopefully it's good enough to know the structure. Right, proportion is actually pretty important, so maybe I should fix it. The eye sockets should be a little bit bigger. So let's draw these teeth in first. Can't really see those, I guess they're the molars, the grinding teeth, and that are inside the mouth in here. Interesting. This goes in a little bit. And my scale is way off, but you know, I should have made this part smaller, actually. Let's change that. It's a lot easier to do that than change the top part, so let's go ahead and do that. So 1, 2, 3, something like that. Won't spend a lot of time on the teeth the second time around. I'm running out of lead. Okay, yeah, so let's continue. I thought my pencil was out of lead, but it wasn't. Somehow I was deceived. Let's get some shading in here and get a little bit depth. Okay, and here too, it's a little dark. need that. But okay, so we got our basic thing. This important thing is this nasal bone really throws me off because it's hard to tell on the horse when looking in profile view. Stop that for a second. It's really hard to tell on the horse when you're looking in profile view as to where the nasal bone ends. But if you look closely, you can see the differences in the light, the way the light hits the plane. It's a 10-15, so I think this is a red pencil. Nope, there's nothing in there. No, there's something in there. Okay, so you can sometimes find these colored pencils too, colored lead. So the light, it's just kind of round, it looks like, so it'll be going around like that. Maybe one plane, and then a surface plane like that. But it's very subtle, very, very subtle, especially when the flesh is on the horse. And so this part would be something like that. I'm imagining, judging from this picture, it would be something like that. And then wrapping around like that. So hopefully this knowledge will help me. I'm going a little too far here. This would be pretty far back. So this would actually come up here. So all you can hear is this empty space. So it should be pretty soft if you ever touch a horse right there, which I don't plan on doing. You can if you so desire. And then you have the nostrils, which would be up in here. And then the lips, right? Guarding the teeth. And the eyes, this is the orbital socket, would be the, I guess, equator, you would call it. The line around the center of the eyes would be like that. The eyelids would be like that. The eyes look very human. It's kind of creepy, actually. Yeah, something like that. And then the top of the head, fix that a little bit. So the top of the head is very broad. This is all just one plane. So I mentioned this the last time. I think it takes this kind of a diamond shape. And animals like horses, like deer and a cow and all those kinds of animals, they all have that same basic shape. A diamond. So you have a ball up here for the top of the head and attached to a diamond. I learned that from some art teacher on a YouTube video. I can't remember his name. The guy who draws in ink all the time. Something like that. And the eyes are usually right there. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm ready to. I missed some bones back there, but I'm not sure if those play a role in the profile. So I think I am ready to draw the portrait. I hope I'm ready. If I need more prep than this, then there might not be any hope for me. Okay, so I'll try and draw it right here. So first let's find the picture and then we'll set our timer again. What was that? Okay. So we're in PureRef software again. This software it allows you to collect photos on a theme. I have a bunch of other ones. Not a bunch, but I have a few other ones from when I was working on a project a couple years ago. Project meaning a personal project. Don't worry, I'm not getting paid for this. You can probably tell by my pictures, but anyway, let's find a good straight on photo. I only have a few. Yeah, we're gonna go with this guy. So let's set the timer back. It was 10:15, so I'll go up to just 10. Above 10 minutes, this timer doesn't go by seconds, unfortunately. It'll just jump straight to 11. So I'll go by 10. So I lost 15 seconds. Oh no. Might as well take advantage of it. Draw those other bones. Okay. So we will try and draw this guy right here. In fact, we'll try and draw a couple. Maybe we'll try and go fast. Fast and loose. Loose and fast. There we go. So I'm going through the basic shape, just keeping in mind this shape over here. I'm going to draw a little bit further down. So it's not going to be exactly going across. See, when you have the flesh on here, it looks pretty different. So nostrils come out quite a bit. Very different from the bone. But you have this little flat plane right here going that slopes downward to the lips. A nostril, nostril. This plane right here. This is that soft area, I guess. Or maybe it's this bone right here. I'm not really sure. I'd have to go touch the horse's head, which I mentioned this a second ago, but I'm not going to do that. Not anytime soon, at least. So here's that orbital bone right in here, and this is that ridge right there, yeah? So we can draw where the, so this is where the bone touches the skin. Some places you can't see it, like down there. You can see the planes, but this is where the bones make prominent features, especially in the silhouette. Right here, you can see that bone, the shape of the bone, this curvature up there. Just make sure we emphasize that. Just that socket right there. I'm still not sure how to draw the ears, so we'll skip those for now. Practice those at another time. It's the eye coming around there. Some skin under there. And this eye guy is in shadow, but I'm not going to do any too heavy shading right now. Let's look at these two parts right here. You can't really see the difference there. Huh. Let's go back to our picture. What is that? You can't really tell what that is. Okay. Anyway, let's go back. Hey, buddy. This guy's jaw, this one is more prominent. I guess we're seeing it from an angle, so we can see more of this eye than this eye also, even if it were in the light. But I'm going to try and draw it straight on, so we'll make both sides even as much as possible. So this is where the hard bone part ends. You can actually see a ridge there with the light. It's further over here. So this plane is kind of like that. Comes in like that. And this one you can't see because of the light, but it's something like that. Is that 6 minutes, you say? Time flies. Yeah, the hair in there. The ear. And the ear. Yeah, it's in shadow, so I can't exactly see everything that's going on over there. Let's look at a different picture and see if we can tell. So this one, you can kind of see the two different parts of the bone, like we saw in the skull. Here and then here. Let's look at this one for a little while. said no shadow, but yeah, I can't really see the detail anyhow, so I don't want to make up anything. Here we have a structure like that. And this one's nasal bone is pretty pronounced, so it's not nearly as flat as the other reference picture I just took a look at. The shadow shape, something like that. Then it curves off around here and goes up there. There's something in there too. Some muscle under the skin there on the face. I guess it's muscle. Again, I changed the perspective a little bit, which is, oh, maybe I shouldn't have, but yeah. And now to fix, you can see the planes a little bit and how the light reflects off of the. So there's a harness on that also shows the how the planes go across the face. The stop there for a second. This strap here, this rope or whatever it's called, bridle, goes across and gives them some more dimensionality. So, for example, if I were to draw something on his neck, right, it looks flat right now, but just by drawing, you know, something like this, I have 126 on there, so I'll put it 130 when I go back. You can show it reveals the shape. And the rule of thumb is that you need at least 3 things that overlap to show the curvature of whatever you're working on. So, for example, if you have an arm, right? I haven't studied anatomy in a while, so please forgive me if I make some mistakes. Okay, so I have some overlap here. I have 1, 2, and with the elbow it would be 3, right, to show how the features go. But I could add even more to show the shape. For example, to show just how muscular this arm is, you can have like some kind of ring or a tattoo or a band or whatever. You go and you emphasize the shapes like that. So you go in through the creases. And I think I learned this from Steve Houston. It's one of the tricks he uses. So you don't need more than 3, but you should have at least 3, more than 2. And then it really sells the three-dimensionality of whatever you're working on. So for example, this one is coming in, if I made it come in like that, well, at a different angle, so can't do that now, retroactively. You do something like that. really shows. If I had something like this going back and then coming forward, that would be another way to show the, let's make this a leg. It's supposed to be an arm, but I drew it wrong, so, you know how that goes. And there goes the butt. The part will be censored. So this part, if we had bands, why bands? Because a lot of the reasons, if you see something on an anime or a comic or whatever, a lot of times the reason for these rings is just to show that three-dimensionality. Of course, it's a design issue too, but it really helps sell the image, because one of the difficulties of doing art is you have something on a flat surface. How do you make it look 3D, right? How do you make it look 3D? And then so we have two on that one, and then we would have one coming this way. So these bands are in different directions, right? This one is going down that way, following the shape of the leg, roughly. This one is going this way, right? So it helps show the perspective of the viewer. Of course, there's other things that are overlapping, like right here, the leg itself, right, the muscles and everything. And then maybe you even have one on the foot to show that it's going back in the opposite direction, and even show the curvature of the foot or whatever. Yeah. So that's how you can, excuse my immaturity, but that's how you can show three-dimensionality. Which, going back to this horse face right here, right? He has bands, so he's cheating, is my point. So, all that to say that I was making an excuse for myself. So, let's go back to it was 128, so we have 130. So again, cheating for myself, yeah. And here we go. Let's see what I can do in this last minute and 30 seconds. Okay, so. There's a definite distinction. And plane right here. It's not really shape, but it's different. This horse's fur is not fur, it's hair. So in order to show texture, just the outside is sufficient. Just a little bit on the inside. You don't have to put stuff everywhere. Learned that from Drawbox a couple years ago. If you're interested in learning drawing, that's a pretty good resource. This horse doesn't have any over here. I guess it's over there on the other side. And there goes the time. Okay. Reset. Okay. So one thing you could do, or I could do, so just to show that this is a white spot right here, take this down a notch. So we would have the horse's, does the horse have fur or hair? Coat, we call it a coat, I guess. I wear coats too, in the winter at least. So we have the white, the midtone, which would be the normal hair fur tone. I guess there's a highlight in there too, so let's do 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will be the shadow, right? Pretty dark. So this, there's pretty big range of tone on this horse. Just kind of highlight, and then the fur will be a little bit darker. The hair. And then this shadow will be really dark. And this is a whole separate issue, but you use these grades and tonality to show just to create interest, to create depth in a picture. Okay, so I'm just going to color this in really fast, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, and we're going to stop right there. That's good enough to show the what I meant. I hope it's good enough. Anyway, I just wanted to show what I meant by the showing the depth by changing the tone and etc. using shadow shapes, and not shadow shapes, but the shadow area. I'm probably not the one you would like to hear about shadow shapes from. But yeah, that's it. A little bit more than 20 minutes, but we'll just call it 20 minutes just for the sake of consistency. Okay, so that's it, and I will see you next time. Take care.